All right, guys. Today I want to talk about one of my more favorite topics in the betting world, which is the relationship between poker, which a lot of people have questions about, and sports betting. Same thing, odds favorite versus not. There's the human element though, which makes it a lot more interesting than, or can make it interesting and profitable than betting. So. First things first, when we talk about buyers and sellers in a marketplace, right? Like we talked in the trading video, in the trading world, you have the market makers, they're the sellers. In the sports betting world, you have bookies they act as the sellers in the marketplace. In poker, similar situation. Everyone else around the table creates the market, if you will. They are trying to sell you something, and the thing that they're trying to sell you is a lie most of the time. Sometimes they want you to believe it, but most of the time they don't, right? So all the other people at the table are the sellers. They want to sell you deception. That's how poker works. That's what makes it so fun. And your job is to calculate the risk to reward ratio, just like in sports betting, in trading, and say, what are the chances that either this person is lying or that I'm going to win the hand even if he is lying, right? And so this is just a quick little example. So you can, this cardplayer.com, it helps you calculate the odds that you're actually going to win given this hand. And again, when you see poker played on TV, right, they do this for you. The commentators, they say, well, there's a 8% chance of catching another card, right? But you don't know when you're actually sitting there playing, you have to do that on the fly without knowing obviously what everyone else has. So you can see here, Ace King suited to start had, it's a good hand, right? But after this flop, there's about a 19% chance of it winning. 9-10 suited, an 8% chance of winning. 7 deuce offsuit, 0% chance of winning. Pocket tens, 4% chance, right? Highest percent chance hand to win is this Jack 6 with a 46% chance because it has a pair on the board and it also has 4 cards to the flush. So the trick when you're playing poker and in the betting world in general is trying to figure out your risk to reward. So if I bet X amount of dollars and all these other players are in the hand, what are the chances that I'm right? That varies every single time from hand to hand. So let's just, for the sake of argument, say that on the turn, this is a 5 of diamonds, right? So this guy with the Jack 6, his percentage went from 40 something down to 35. The Ace King just went up to 25% chance of winning, right? If he catches another ace or if there's a king on the board. But again, you have to, as a poker player, you have to calculate that risk and say, who's selling me a bunch of goods and what are the chances that I'm going to win? So obviously if the guy catches a flush on the river, then he wins. And you can go through this exercise and say, okay, let's just say there's a 2-player game, ace ace, and the guy has a 7-6 suited, right? To start the hand, the ace ace obviously is going to have high percentage to win, 76%. And if the flop comes, let's just say something like that, you can see the percentages change, right? There's now a 40% chance that the guy with the 7-6 is going to win. Obviously, they don't know what the other guy has, so the guy with the aces, his job is to sell deception. His job is to sell the fact that he doesn't have a strong hand. And if you have another player on the board, let's say, he has, I don't know, just some random hand, his job is to sell these guys on the fact that he has a great hand, even though it's pretty gnarly. Although the one that I picked, obviously, that's a bad example because let's pick another one. There we go, 7-10. He has a 6.5% chance of winning, right? So his job, hopefully, is to sell these guys on the fact that his hand is way better than what these guys. Obviously, the guy with the aces, he's going to stay in play. So, but when we're calculating odds in our head, we're saying, what is the risk to reward? What are the odds? What are the chances that someone else has a better hand than I do? One of the ways that you can do this, and this is what professional poker players, and I've played poker for probably 16 years, casinos, tournaments. Had a lot of fun. But one of the things that like Daniel Negreanu, all these guys, Phil Hellmuth, they have all this stuff memorized. They can calculate it in their head. So if there's 20 outs, right, there's a 42% chance that they're going to win. So the odds are 1 to 135, right, 1.35. You can. This is another way of taking a look at it. If there's specific outs in your hand, and given the flop, you can see down here 15 outs. That'll get the job done. If there's 2 outs though, an 8% chance of winning, every card is going to have what, basically a 4% value there. And then the really long. This is this is the essentially what a parlay is, right? You're saying if I have a long shot, right, there's a really low percentage chance of winning, right? Like if I flop, if I have a hand and I think I'm going to flop a flush, the chances of you flopping a flush to start is, like you can see right here, is 0.2%, right? That being said, sometimes, and this is what poker is all about, that human element of deception, right? You say, well, I want to try and convince this guy that I did flop a flush, right? Not the easiest thing to do. That being said, when you're thinking about the odds, right? And let's say that you're in a hand and everyone else, and I've had this happen a couple times. Like this guy has an ace king. This guy has an ace 10. This guy has ace jack, right? There's all these high value cards on the table, pocket queens, let's say, right? I've actually had this happen where the entire table will be betting just monster hands, right? And so you have, again, when we talk about positive expected value in sports betting, we're looking for value. We're looking for something that's, and that's gonna pop here. One of the strategies that I've used in the past that's been successful, and Daniel Negreanu or anyone else in the poker world is going to say I'm crazy, but let's say I get, I don't know, 2-3 suited, and I've actually done this in a live poker hand at a casino a couple times, and everyone else is betting big, right? There's kings on the board, there's king queen, there's this guy has pocket jacks, everyone else is just going into town, right? And I know I have the worst hand, absolutely. But you gotta think, okay, if everyone's betting big, all of the big cards are out, right? And I actually had this happen once. I had 2. Oh, no, that didn't go right. There you go, right there on the flop. 2, 2, 3. So I flop a full house. I'm giddy as a schoolgirl because I know no one else is playing that, right? And then on the turn, where the other 2 go, the turn I catch another 2. So I have the nuts. Everyone else knows at the table, they know there's a 4% chance that some knucklehead, me, has that 4th 2, which means there's a 96% chance that they're going to win this hand with something else, right? If there's an ace on the river, right? But they don't know that there's a crazy person at the table. And so playing with those long odds, again, it's the same thing as a parlay, right? Like I took a parlay yesterday, 7-point parlay, hit I think 3 out of the 7, which is kind of interesting. I actually hit a 4 bet parlay a couple days ago. That was pretty cool. Long odds, right? But still, it's that perception. You see, especially if this guy, the 2-3 is the button, or if he's last act pre-flop, and everyone else has put all their money in the pot and it's an acceptable risk. Let's say it's 10% of his stack. He says, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to risk 10% on the fact that everyone else has all these big cards and I don't. And there's a decent chance that, I might catch something kind of cool. So that's kind of the nuts, no pun intended, between sports betting and poker. That perceived value, and this is something I want to talk about in another video, but confirmation bias is the enemy of profitability when it comes to trading, sports betting, poker, right? So if someone says, oh, I think I have the best hand, there's no way this hand can be beaten. And this actually happened to me with a buddy. I had pocket queens, This is a friend of mine. We're playing right next to each other in a casino, and he had king nine, and the flop comes queen nine nine, or yeah, I think it was queen nine nine. So queen nine nine, and so I flop a full house. Queen's full, right? He has, he has the other, that nine there, and he says to himself, "Oh wow, I really, there's basically only one hand that can beat him at this point, which is pocket queens." And then of course, Murphy's law being what it is, he gets the king on the turn, and his even though like you can see the odds right now, he only has a 6% chance of, or 7% chance of winning, right? But in his brain, he's going, "Wow, I'm gonna take my friend's money for all he's worth," right? And then the river was, I think it was a 3 or something like that. So I had him dead to rights at the outset. He says to himself, there's what, a 3% chance, 2% chance, whatever the percentage chance is, that someone else has the one hand that can beat me. And of course, like I said, Murphy's Law being what it is, I have the one hand, sitting right next to him. I don't want to take my buddy's money, but at the same time, it's like, it's a couple $100 on the table. That's some good spending money. Getting into that tunnel vision and only seeing what you want to see. He only saw those three nines, and then when the king came, he thought, "There's no chance anyone can beat me," especially my friend. And everyone saw that we were betting big. They knew we were friends. They all got out, and I was like, "Dude, don't do it, don't do it." And he did it anyways. He went all in. I called him, obviously, and that's kind of the end of the story. But confirmation bias, which in sports betting is, well, I like the team, whatever, Seahawks or whoever. I think that they're gonna do well. And if you look at their stats, the numbers, and it doesn't justify it, right? Seeing things that aren't there, don't do it. In poker, it'll kill you. In sports betting, it'll kill you. In trading, it'll absolutely kill you. That's why only 8% of retail traders are profitable. So hope this helps. Hope you guys make some money in poker. We're going to do a few more videos and maybe even start a discussion on how to use odds profitably in both poker and sports betting.